Yo, what's going on? Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to my private market analysis. This I usually reserve for my Advantage members here in our Discord channel. We've decided to rebrand our community and we call ourselves Kubera. We are digital wealth architects. I know it sounds cheesy and weird, but we're trying to reframe the conversation of what crypto means to people as a form of investment and long-term investment at that, right? And so we want to bring more of a crowd into our community where people are really looking to learn and understand crypto from first principles. And so some of the things that we will generally talk about, especially nowadays, is the technology behind the projects that are being built. Of course, everybody loves to talk about the price and price action and moon targets and whatnot. And I'm a fundamental believer that if the chart doesn't look good and that the price is not going up, unfortunately in crypto people have sort of a very sort of quick in and out style mindset. And so they're gonna get out of your coin or your project or your token if you don't have the associated, price discovery along with a good project. So today's analysis, we're gonna focus less on majors and more on AI, DeFi, or DeFAI, which is the new terminology, which is like decentralized finance, with a fusion of AI, right? And I'll explain to you exactly what this larger category is that has been created here on CoinGecko, as well as things that people are talking about regarding DeFi. Okay. First things first, I want to show you guys, kind of what's happening in BTC. I do think that Bitcoin is in a very weird area. I'm not quite certain exactly what happens from here, to be honest. It is entirely possible that from here we do rip up higher, right? Um, maybe this low that was swept, maybe we go up here, pull back up into, February or March or whatever, and then we start moving higher. Actually, in fact, if you were to make the argument that what is the comparative sort of fractal of January or February, where we have broken out of a large range, what happens after that? I would say a fractal that's somewhat comparable is the fractal from here in, um, where is it? It should be somewhere around here, which is the new year starting on Bitcoin in 2020 and 2021, where we've kind of broken out from this COVID sell-off, push back up into resistance of 11,000, pulls back and then shoots up, right? So we're either somewhere around here or we're somewhere, close to up here. Um, However, I also want to show you guys sort of the other side of the equation, which is it possible that maybe we get a larger consolidation in majors and maybe the small cap runners keep running, right? Because I think that is probably a very, very, high probability outcome, which is these guys, for example, Solana and BTC and ETH, right? Maybe they just keep chopping sideways, sideways, up and down and up and down, while at the same time, new categories are emerging in the market. Like I said, DeFi, AI tokens themselves, right? And maybe they start pushing and ripping higher, which in my opinion has already kind of happened or has been ongoing. For example, one of my favorite projects, Schizo, right? It has consistently been sort of grinding towards the highs, right? If you look at this chart, this is a far better looking chart than, I don't know, like something like Solana, which has been kind of for the last like 2 or so months, it's just been grinding down or chopping down, right? So you could kind of see that Schizo, for example, again, another AI swarm slash infrastructure token, okay, it has been doing impressively well. Okay, T3 AI, this is a uncollateralized project, uncollateralized loan borrowing and lending project on Solana. Again, has pressed the highs. We had mentioned T3 AI somewhere around like 6 million market cap. Somewhere here, I think actually it was back here around 10th or 11th of January, so about 6 days ago. And in 6 to 7 days, it has basically doubled or tripled, right? Easily, tripled or quadrupled actually. And by the way, again, you can find all this stuff in our Discord community. I'm going to show you guys all the transparency that we provide in the Discord. If you are interested in joining, the link is below. We have two pricing options, yearly as well as lifetime subscription. You can inquire about the prices by joining the Discord with the link, or you could, ping me if you want here on Twitter. Okay. So, moving on, right? So the point is that as we see BTC chopping about and Solana not really doing a whole lot, we see, assets like, for example, QUAIN, which has been doing, impressively well for the past few days. It went from a low of like 600K market cap all the way to about 10 to 11 million because it got listed as part of a DeFAI category, right? So this raises the bar, the potential for projects to do really well when you are categorized as, the leading project in one of the emerging categories of decentralized finance slash AI. It really raises the bar and the ceiling of how high your project can go in terms of market cap. Now, mind you, some of these projects have really done a lot already. For example, Buzz, okay? Buzz is a project, okay? So again, like I said, T3 AI has already gone up 3 to 4x from the lows in 6 days. Buzz as a project, right? It has basically in the past, it started on January 3rd. We're about 13, 14 days in. It basically went from, let's just say, $1 million to 100 million. That's 100x, right? 100x in like 15 days. So the point is that there's a lot of uh, speculation happening, a lot of froth in the markets too, which I do understand. Part of it is bullshit. The other part is some of these projects are truly incredible and we don't really know how to value them. And when you don't know how to value something, the ceiling for growth is almost infinite, right? Because you have really no idea if this thing is $1 million project or a 10 million or 100 million or $1 billion project, right? So the speculation runs rampant. QUAIN is one of the coins that I had mentioned, and I want to show you guys this because um, just to show you the transparency in our community, right? So I had bought QUAIN, you know, um, after I had a robotics play called DeBot, which I caught somewhere around 700K. And I saw QUAIN somewhere hanging around like, a million. Then I saw it at like 1.7, 1.5 million. It's like, wait a second. This thing is talking about quantum computing slash AI slash, RWA, right? This is something truly unique. Okay. I don't know how to value it, so I figured I'd pick it up, bought like 2,500 bucks worth. Again, sometimes I mention capital size, sometimes I don't. By the way, none of this is financial advice. This is not for people to copy trade me. This is for people to see exactly, where I have skin in the game, how I'm looking at projects. And so when I spoke about QUAIN, it was sitting at 1.8 and then quickly just, I think not too long after that, it started to sell off. And I was like, well, what the hell? Like, this is clearly, I think AIXBT, the, the agent, right? The AIXBT agent had told me that QUAIN is a scam or it has a lot of like bundles of, people owning tokens. So I thought, okay, let this go, forget about it, scratch, quick loss of $1,250. By the way, not a big deal. I don't mind cutting for losses when I feel like I'm on the wrong side of the trade. Because guess what? Prior to that, we were on a UOS trade and we made a boatload of money. That was about a $12,000 trade in profit that I made, right? Schizo again, same thing. Schizo, I think I raked in probably like, 5 to 8 grand. Um, Prior to that, even DeBot, which was one of my bigger plays too, DeBot I had a sizable position in, you know, um, and then I think I also pulled in like maybe like 5, 6 grand out of this, right? The point here is that when you have a series of winners, and then you have, a dud, because it's like me getting in here at the quote unquote top, selling at the bottom, right? And then price just rockets up. I have no idea when and if this is going to happen. You know what I mean? Because in this market, you have to be really, really sort of you have to be in capital preservation mode. And you don't want to make stupid mistakes like that where you lose out on capital, because the opportunity cost is too large. If you're stuck in a asset that's going down and sideways when other aspects of the market are running, that's a terrible position to be in because your capital could have been better utilized somewhere else. So that's, another thing that we kind of preach in um our Kubera Discord is we talk a lot about capital preservation. We talk a lot about, how do you manage size? We talk a lot about new emerging categories, but more so, how not to FOMO in, how to reduce risk, find future potential winners, and how to do proper research, right? So speaking of Quain, right? I think Quain, I still think now that it's being mentioned, not only in Coin Market Cap as one of the top assets in DeFi as a performer, but it's being mentioned, in other blogs and stuff. Okay, so if you go to Twitter and you type in, let me see, Quain, I think Solana Daily, I think it was. I forgot what it was that talked about Quain. Yeah, this thing right here, right? It mentioned Quain here too. Again, along with like really, really solid projects like AIXBT, which is $1 billion project now, right? If we go to AIXBT, okay. AIXBT, yeah, close to $1 billion, right? The point here is that, when you are mentioned with the likes of $1 billion projects or top tier projects like Griffin or Grift, Buzz, people are going to look at that and say, oh, well, maybe I should be paying attention to this project that's, only $5 million. And it's in a category that's a new and emerging category like DeFAI. And that category is only worth 3.2 billion, right? Versus like AI category, okay? So artificial intelligence as a category is worth, you know, as you can see, 48 billion. So compare this 48 billion for the entire AI category versus DeFi is 3.2 billion, right? Both these categories are going to go up massively. But this one right here, because it sits so small, the general thought process for most people is, oh, well, let me bet on the 5, 10, $20 million market cap coins because they could go up 10x, 50x, 100x, right? Again, that's a general thought process. This is not financial advice to tell you like, oh, you should be bidding those, but I'm telling you that that's how the average person thinks in crypto. Okay, so now that that thinking is prevalent in markets, well, what should you be watching? So here's a couple of things of how I like to, position myself in the market right now. Aside from, let's just say you hold Bitcoin or whatever, right? I think you definitely want to be paying attention to large cap assets that are above 100 to 200 million dollars, simply because they've established themselves as top tier projects. Meaning, AIXBT sitting here at 700 million, I think today it got listed on Coinbase, if I'm not mistaken, right? So if we go here and we type in, let's go Coinbase AIXBT. Pretty sure AIXBT got listed. Um, yeah, as you can see, right? So here, that the large cap assets like AIXBT or the virtuals of the world, these are, 100, 500 million, 1.7 billion project, or even like Griffin. Okay. This one, let me see if I could find it. Yeah, this one is $500 million. All these projects, because they're large in size, that they're probably a little bit safer in a sense, for people to invest in, right? Because it can't just easily rug. Sure, it could pull back 10, 20, 30%, but you could probably go to bed at night knowing that it's not just going to rug overnight. But still, do your due diligence, make sure you know exactly what you're getting into, right? And then there's projects like what I've mentioned, DeBot. DeBot, I've been talking about DeBot in the private Discord side, um, probably from, let me see here. Let me see the first mention that I had. Yeah, see, the first mention that I had was somewhere around like 500 to 600K. You know, um, that just goes to show that, we love finding very, very good projects at very, very sort of attractive prices, attractive market cap levels. It doesn't mean that we're looking for, low cap shit coins or anything. It's just that when you do your research and you check out their website and then you check out their smart contract and you go to their Telegram and their Twitter and then you speak to the members and then you speak to the developers, these are all things that you need to check off your list. And once those things check off, and you say, oh, well, wait a second, I'm seeing that this project is only worth 500 to 700K, right? Now, by the way, it sits at 3 million. It went all the way to approximately 8 million, so that's again another close to more than a 10x. Um, these are the things that you want to be paying attention to. And for that, we drop a lot of alpha here in our locked channels for people. So you could see exactly how we go about finding these projects. And, when we mention them, and I make sure I always post a screenshot, right? It's just so you know, like you can't say, oh, you mentioned it, 5 times higher than when you bought it. Not really. I'm literally giving you the live screenshot. If you're not there at your desk at that very minute and you find out 2 days later, that's your own problem. But I'm going to make sure that you find, if you're part of our Discord, you see that image live with the ticker, with the contract address, my due diligence, my information, as well as a screenshot of exactly where the price is and the market cap is. Okay. So we have the emerging category of DeFAI. We've got, a bunch of different like AI, DeSci projects. Schizo, like I said, is one of the ones I'm paying attention to. This one is kind of interesting, Dwayne. I just found out about this today. And I think is also, again, pretty cool because this is one of the agents. This is one of the agents that's actually on the AVA network. Okay. So I know this is a lot, so just keep up with me. You can always rewatch this video, and like I said, you could join Discord and you can ask me all the questions that you want regarding the agents, the platform itself, etc. So here, in terms of Ava, right? Again, another sort of framework platform where this is related to the Hollow network. Okay, so Hollow World. This thing is basically the mind, the framework, the platform that is allowing, agents or projects like Ava to exist, or, the ability for Dwayne to exist. So these projects, Ava was sitting at 200 million, extremely ambitious project. Dwayne is more so like sports gambling, games related agent, AI agent. Okay. So if you're into that and you see the potential in that, well, then this is your pick. If you think that Ava is a project that you want to focus on, which is like larger scope, AI agent related stuff and framework related stuff, then Ava is probably your pick. There's a flavor for everybody is the point, right? In the current market conditions, there's a lot going on. And if you really know or want to know exactly what these projects are about, and you want to bet on specific areas of AI, of DeFi, of crypto at large, all that information can be found by doing individual research in these projects. Here's another one, right? Hype 3. Okay. Hype 3 is, intellectual property, uh, being able to bring proprietary data um, into agents, AI agents. Okay. And again, you can go through their Twitter and you can find out more information about them. All right. And why is this interesting? Because most of the agents right now are run on, very, very basic data sets. They're kind of just like chatbots, really. But if you want to train Hype 3 on specific sets of data, for example, if you wanted to train it on all things related to gold specifically, right? Gold or commodities like, silver and palladium and oil, and you say, hey, here's all the data for oil for the past, 150 years. Here's all the data for gold, whether it's mining related and all that, and you want to train an AI based on that proprietary data that you have, right? You can do that. And I think Hype 3 allows you to do something like that. Okay. Other agents, within the virtuals network, the Waifu network, the AI16Z network, they don't let you do that. Okay. So I think this is again very ambitious project, right? Then you have, some of my funny favorites, which is like LLM. And by the way, I own a position in this, and I think it's a hilarious project. There's a lot of backstory behind it. I'm not going to, go through that. You can go to my Twitter and find out exactly why I like this project, but it is a hilarious project. The Telegram is super active. It's a fun group of people, and it's just about being a large language model. Like, what's not funny about, being fat and chubby and liking fast food and, liking food in general, right? And I think everybody can relate to this. Crypto is funny and we want to have fun with it. And this kind of meme, AI 160 kg instead of AI 16Z, I think is hilarious. So I have a position in this. My cost average is somewhere in like the mid 50s of 50 mil, that is, in market cap. So, I'm down right now, but nonetheless, right? I'm still bullish on it. I talk about LLM through my tweets all the time. Another one that's really funny that I found early, by the way, right? I'm proud of this one because I was in the trenches. All right. I was in the trenches on Pump Fun. I was like, okay, let me see, which of these projects are graduating. And I just happened to find one. As you can see, this was at, 50 some K market cap. It's called Chigma or Chinese Sigma. Again, hilarious, right? I mean, who doesn't like a funny meme like that where everybody just has like a Chinese look, from the guy from the Peaky Blinders to the Godfather to Scarface, Avengers, etc., right? This is the kind of stuff that people in crypto love because it's hilarious. Like, what is not to like about this and bet on it, So, um, Chegma and LLM, these are just like meme related bets. Of course, there's majors in memes like Bonk and Doge and Whiff, but these are the ones that I'm into right now. Um, Another project that is really cool in my opinion is Orifi. Orifi is in my opinion, a really, really cool project because I've heard the developer talk. I've heard, I've seen his work, not only in tutorials, but he built like a Ori AI, which is Ori being able to, it's an AI agent that can actually join Twitter Spaces and speak to you and answer your questions and talk to you, right? I think that's phenomenal. Like, there's nothing that's been done like that. And so Orifi, even though it's like really, really beat up at 400K market cap, to me, it's a position that I want to hang on to. And I own a decent amount, but obviously I'm down a little bit, right? But sometimes you try to find these projects and you say, okay, well, I should cut this because I feel like, price action is bad. My capital is being held up. But at the same time, you know that you've done enough research, and you say, well, let me just, give it a little bit of time to see if the market picks it up. So I'm kind of in that bind right now too. I don't really want to cut it because it's not really a rug. I feel like people are building on it. The community's nice, um, and the technology is cool. Yeah. So that's the other thing. Yeah, we've spoken about Orify, right? Make sure you check it out. Like, same thing with all these projects. I want to show you guys one more, which I had mentioned as part of my hackathon picks. And this is the one thing I love. Like I love doing research in projects and I love finding gems early. Okay. So, yesterday, I was looking yesterday and like the past few days, I was looking at A lot of different, let me see, a lot of different projects. Jailbreak. Okay, so it's called Jailbreak. All right, let me see here. Okay, so 1:45 my time was about 5, 6 hours before the hackathon, the Solana hackathon, that is. If you're not familiar with that, make sure you check out all these projects. I'm gonna give you guys um, a little insight on how we found some of this information. Stay tuned till the end of the video. I'm gonna give you two resources that you can use for all the Solana hackathon projects. Okay, so in the Solana hackathon, let me see here. Here's the winners, right? Here are the winners of the Solana hackathon. Jailbreak came as a second runner up. Okay. I had tweeted about Jailbreak. Where is Jailbreak? Yeah, I had tweeted about Jailbreak like hours before, the winners were announced. And it's simply because, a day before and the same day I had gone to Jailbreak. All right. If you go here, you click on their link. It is a fantastic platform where agents are being created to basically, you're creating an agent to have a puzzle be solved, or you're creating an agent, or you're hoping that no one breaks this agent, and so everybody can pay you to try to break that agent. So it's like a bounty, really, right? Every time you don't get killed, you basically can keep that money. But if someone solves a riddle, if someone solves a puzzle, they get all that money, right? So it's basically really like, solving a puzzle, right? And here's the breakers, for example. Okay. And there's a bunch of people who have won, like this guy, for example. You could see um, this is how the conversation between you and the agent looks. Okay. And by the end of it, if you are correct, it'll say that, you've solved the riddle or you've solved the puzzle, and they will basically send you all the money. And for this, the prize was $6,700, right? That's the coolest platform right now, in my opinion, out there. Okay. Forget all the agents that are being created that are like 99% chatbots. This to me is amazing. Okay. And again, Jailbreak right now sits at $13 million. Yesterday, I happened to just, I threw a little bit of money in. I was like, oh, well, I'll find it, I'll buy it at, it was somewhere around here. So like I mentioned at 130. So somewhere around here, right? 4 to 5 million. I bought it, you know, by the time the winners were announced, I was up like 3x, right? This is how the game is played sometimes when it comes to recognizing what's a good project, what's bullshit, what's real, and what's not. Okay. Plenty of opportunities in this market. If you want to learn, come join our Discord, come hang out with us. Feel free to, also follow my Twitter. I mean, I have a lot of alpha on there for free. I'm not telling you you have to join the Discord, but I think you'll really like it. We have a good group of community, folks who are mature, who love doing research into crypto projects. I think you guys will enjoy it a lot. All right. That's pretty much it for today's session. I've mentioned a bunch of different projects. Make sure you go out and do research into them. Make sure you check out, exactly exactly what these projects are about. Find out, what's fascinating, what's not. And then yeah, shoot me a question or anything you want to discuss. Good luck, everybody. Take care. Cheers.